Hi, welcome to my channel. In this video I'd like to show you how I made these baby mittens. They fit a 0 to 3 month baby. So if you know how to knit and purl, this project will be easy for you. I will be using a 3.5 needle, knitting needle. So what you need to do is cast on 10. Do my slip knot. So yarn over, draw back and pull over the needle. Crisscross, yarn over the needle, draw back and over the needle. I've got 3 cast on. Once you've got 10 on your needle, I'll show you what we will be doing next. Once you've got your 20 cast on, you need to knit 1 and purl 1. You're going to start off with a knit and then you're going to end up with a purl. And that's going to give you this rib pattern. You do that for 10 lines or 10 rows. You can use a marker. If you have one, you can use one of these markers or just jot it on a piece of paper. So you're going to knit 1 and purl 1 for 10 rows. You're going to turn your work around and then you're going to knit 1, purl 1 and continue the pattern for 10 rows. Knit 1, yarn forward to purl, yarn back to knit, yarn forward to purl, yarn back to knit, continue to the end of the line. Got your first row done, turn your work around, you ended up with a purl. Now you're going to knit on the knit and you're going to purl on the purl. Continue the pattern all the way around to the end. When you turn your work around again, you're going to be knitting and purling, knitting on the knit and purling on the purl. You could tell which ones are knits. These are knits, the first one. The ones with the humps are the purls. Knit, humps with the purls, knit, and you've got purl. Continue the pattern for 10 rows. And remember, you can change your colour yarn once you've done your 10 rows. Or with, like me, I'm just going to use one colour right through. And I'll show you what 10 rows look like when they're done. This is what your 10 rows should look like once you've done your rib pattern. At this stage you can either place a marker, a stitch marker, to show that's your rib pattern, and you can feel free to change your colour yarn so that your rib pattern is completely different from the mitten, like I have in this one. In the one that I'm going to do, I'm just going to use the same colour yarn right through. So what you can do now is turn your work around and continue the pattern as you have been doing so. You'll be doing your knit, purl all across. You're going to do this, continue the pattern till you reach 4 inches from your marker up. You're going to do 4 inches up from your marker, and once you've done that, I'll show you what we're going to do after that. Right, I've completed my 4 inches from the border to the top. So far we've done 5.5 inches. When you complete your work, it should be 6 inches in total from top to bottom once we've done all the decrease. For this row we're going to be knitting 3 and then purling 3 together. So you knit 3, and then yarn forward, you purl 2 together. You repeat the pattern to the end of the row, and then we'll turn the pattern round. Right, once you've knit 3 and purled 2 together right across, you're going to turn your work around, and you're just going to knit right across. Once you've done that line, I'll show you what we do for the next line. Once you've knitted right across, you turn your work around. In this row we're going to knit 2 and then 2 together, purl 2 together. Remembering to yarn forward when purling. Then you turn your work around. You just knit right across. Once you completed that row, you turn your work around again. This time you're going to knit 1 and purl 2 together. Yarn forward to purl 2 together. Down back to knit 1, yarn forward, purl 2 together, slide them off your needle, turn your work around, and then you're just going to knit across. turn your work around, and we're just going to knit two together right through to the end, and a purl two together right through to the end. Yarn forward, two off the needle, just slip them off the needle, and the last one, if you have one, do a purl and slip him off the needle. Now you need to leave enough yarn to weave in the sides, so make sure you've got enough yarn. So your siding, a needle, first we're going to stitch in the remaining stitches that we have at the top to close the hole at the top. Just weave it in. Just pull it through. You can safely take out your needle. Just pull the knot to close the top. From top to bottom your work should reach 6 inches. Whichever side you find that looks good, you turn him inside out. And you're going to stitch all the way from the top right to the bottom, and don't forget to weave in the ends. Take my stitch marker out. When you get to the top, you tie your two knots together, the tail and the one that you're working with. just going to cut it up to here so it's level with the other strand. I'm going to weave the two strands together. Just going back and forth. Then I'm going to cut my strand. Making sure not to cut my work. And you turn your mitten inside out. Like that. You just turn it up so you've got a cuff at the base and you got your mitten made. Thank you for watching. Hope I didn't go too fast for you. You can check out the link in the description for different sizes.